Hi everyone, my name is Cyrus Wong, AWS Machine Learning Hero from Hong Kong, and I'm a data scientist of the Department of IT, Hong Kong Ivy League. And today I would like to share a topic named as Build a Scalable Virtual Learning Platform with AWS AI Services. The agenda is introductions, problem and solutions, feature sets, and finally we will have a short conclusions. For introduction, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, online education is more difficult for students and teachers alike. Seen in the past, nearly most of the teacher and school is in the face-to-face mode, and online teaching is uncommon in general. And now, suddenly, all of the school and teacher and student have to do the online teaching mode. They don't have experience and don't have equipment, and also the model is very different. Here is some problem. First off, main problem is about the student engagement and learning. Third issue is that when you are student doing any test or assessment at home, they will just like in online teaching, they will just very easy to copy from each other. If one of the students complete their assignment or project, they will just share the file to other through maybe WhatsApp or Facebook, and then everyone can copy it and then submit. And the second problem is that students just log into the meeting tools. As you know, the online teaching in general is just a broadcast-like solution. You have a meeting software open, and then teachers share their screen and phrase, and then starts talking. Students just log in. They log in. He just log in with the browser, but mentally they are not engaged. They are maybe not here. In general, they may just click the login button and then go away, or in some extreme case that I have a student online from the week 1, and then after the whole of the semester he never offline during the online classes. And also since all of the classes students need to use their own computer or iPad or something to do the online classes, they installed a lot of software, game, and movie, and everything is there. They're using the computer as a toy for fun. And now they open the meeting tools, and then you ask them to focus on the classes. They will not. They will immediately open another game in another monitor. They just open it, and then they are not focused on the class. And finally, since the class is students at home are lonely, they are in a lonely environment, impacting mental health, as there is no more interaction, no more classmate, no more fan is next to him. For the feelings they feel is very, very lonely and boring. In summary, is my sentence. Actually, I am a lecturer of my institution, and I do feel that students are not learning or rendering classes as more of the online classes. Students, they really do nothing during online classes. They are not focusing. They're just very easy at trying to copy from each other. Before we have this project, the solution is that we build up a online teaching tools called as AllScreens. AllScreen is an online educational apps enabled with AWS Amplify. AWS already using all of the AWS AI services, and finally we use the VR technology, Amazon Submarine, to build a virtual class environment. Now it's share about the features of the AllScreen project and how can we solve the problem one by one. The first feature of AllScreen is called the teacher can view all of the student screen in a central panel. It means that students able to share their screen to a teacher, and teacher can monitor all of the student screen at a single view. And here's the demonstration. The first demonstration is about the teacher request student to share the screen to him, and there's three window here. The first window browser here is the teacher, and then there's two students. One is Firefox, one is Chrome. Okay, and now it's play the demonstration to request students share screen to the teacher.
Please click on the Start Screen Sharing button and share your screen to me.
Okay, two of the student browser one together, student 1 and student 2. Now one of the student click on the button to share the screen to teacher. There is a web application, there's no plugin. This is just this to open a browser that support HTML5 will be able to use the all screen project. And here's the teacher view. This is a view classes for us. And you can see this is all of the student screen is shown here. You will know that the student what they are doing during the classes. And then you click on the screen can magnify the screen and then you can send message to the student and then the virtual tutor will speak in our report. Okay. Here is the on-screen view architecture, and at the central part we are using AWS Amplify React web application as the core for the client application load into the student browser, and for the authentication and user management, and we are using Amazon Cognito to let students register into the account, manage their permission to use Amazon services. And then for the screen sharing actually we are directly let student to upload the image to SV. And after the upload and also the communication, we are make use of AWS App Sync with Amplify. And AWS App Sync actually you can do something like pop-ups and subscription. Teacher can have two-way direction, communicate with student, and teacher also are able to broadcast a message to all of the student, and they can have two-way communication between teacher and student. And finally, all of the information is we are stored in Amazon DynamoDB, a NoSQL database for the recording of the information, such as later we will have some record about the attendance or something. And the feedback to students, we are make use of the virtual tutor. Actually, virtual tutor is a Amazon Sumerian host, and Miss Mark. And Miss Mark is using a virtual host to spit out the message to students. Well, how can you do it? We are make use of Amazon Poly to send out to convert the text message into text to speech. And then spit out with the student browser, so the student can listen to the message or warning anything. Here is another feature. This is called the virtual tutor answer question feature. Actually, we make use of Amazon Kendra to enable the virtual tutor to answer the subject-related question. What means subject-related question? Since the online teaching, the students are not willing to ask questions, or in general, especially for Chinese students, are not willing to ask questions, even though this is face-to-face class. During the online teaching, nearly no student answer anything. And finally, we make use of virtual tutor to let students ask her question. And at the back end, we are using use of AI engine, Amazon Kendra, to answer the question. Here's the demo.
Let me check your question with Amazon Kendra. You can check CH01 Web Application Concept and, in summary, Web Application Concept. 1. A web application or web app is any software that runs in a web browser. It is created in a browser-supported programming language, such as the...
Yes. Okay, let me explain the architecture.
Let me check your...
For the virtual tutor answer question feature, we support voice input and also the text inputs. For the voice input, students need to click on the mic button and then talk to the virtual tutor directly through the browser. The voice information will send to the Amazon transcript. Amazon transcript is a service that convert the speech to text and then get the text question. And the question will then translate into English. Okay, normalized to English so the student can speak any language that Amazon transcript support. And the English question will send to Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is a chatbot engine. You can use to a simple chatbot to answer and query. We have implement some logic there. If there is no built-in logic, we will send the question back to the API gateway, and then the API gateway will send to Lambda backend, and to the Lambda will call with the Kendra index. Actually, the Kendra index is that we have uploaded all the teacher material related to subject. For example, the previous demo, we uploaded our web application development courses material there. There's a slide, lab exercise, everything. And then Kendra index it will become the expert to answer the question about web application development. And then after the correction here, Kendra will feedback the answer to Lambda and then API gateway, and then get back to the AWS Amplify app. Also, the question will also analyze their sentiment. Okay, maybe student feel is upset or happy, and then they will analyze the question sentiment, for example, and then together with the sentiments and the answer, we send to the submitter host. The submitter host will base on different sentiments. Maybe student feel I'm angry, it will do something or emphasize different action or speech style, and we will make use of Amazon Poly to convert the test answer into the speech file, and then the submitter host will spit out the answer and then tell student the answer also in the not just the speech and also in the chat in the blocks the test answer there, student also can read it. This another mode is test mode. For the test mode, it is very similar to the previous one, but due to it's a test input, our system don't need to call Amazon transcript to get back the test answer. It's directly send the question to API gateway to different services and do the very similar workflow. Okay, here is another feature called the Virtual Tutor Express Knowledge and Amplify. And actually, Virtual Tutor can support nearly many languages, 33 languages. Actually, this is the language supported by Amazon Translate, and also based on the question and feedback, Virtual Tutor will do different face expression, different gesture to make fun with students. This is try to resolve the problem is that students feel the class is very boring, and then you have a tutor to study with her, to study with him. He can ask anything, talk to him when they feel that's boring. At least in the education domain, we are always talking about something called gamification. We want to make the class like a game and let students have fun. If the class is very boring, how good is the material? Is it not working? And here's a demonstration. We are asking different questions in different language. We are first of all we will use how are you English sentence and then translate into Chinese Li Hao Ma, and then Japanese, and then another question is I feel bad is a different gesture, and then Jadam is a French. Okay, let's play the demo quick.
Wonderful as always. Thanks for asking. Wonderful as always. Thanks
for Chinese,
for
you will
asking.
answer we've got the Chinese translation. This Japanese,
Lovely, thanks.
and then you see the Japanese translation here.
I'm sorry. Please let me know if I can help in some way.
Okay. Here is the architecture of this feature. It is something similar to the previous one, but at this moment, we have the main difference that we have built in a lot of intent in the Amazon Lex here. We got a lot of intent for all the general questions. Say morning, say hi, I feel bad, I am happy, and the normal track. We will have the general track to reply the student, so they can talk to her anything, and then sometimes with different answers. As you know, you see the architecture is similar. You can talk to her, you can type in the message, and then through the transcript, you will explain the voice into text, and then comprehend will analyze the feedback on the question to to the virtual tutor and then translate into different language. If the student using Chinese to ask the question, the reply actually normally the Amazon, let's say all of the answers is in English, but the English answer will Amazon translate to convert back to the original question language. For example, you use Chinese to ask the question, and then she will also reply the Chinese in the test. And but in general, the voice we will set preset is in English, and then the English reply will send to Amazon Siberian virtual host, and then the host will use Amazon Poly to generate text-to-speech based on different emotion of the student, and then speak in the speaker. Here is called the work alone mode, and we'll try to resolve the problem of someone helping student to doing the assignment at home or test at home. You know, they may, even though there's COVID-19, but they have the brother or sister, they may ask a friend to go to their home to support them to do the test and assignment. And we are using machine learning model here. Actually, this is client-side machine learning model. We use Tensorflow Js to enable the virtual data to detect the face in the webcam, number of face. If there's more than one face, the teacher will receive the message that if you are doing the test or individual assignment or something, it will warn student and then inform the teacher. Some others go into the webcam and then show their face.
You have to work on your text alone.
Okay, this is work alone mode. Once the message go for more than one face here, it will got out the message and then inform teacher. Yeah, the logic here is a little bit different. We are using TensorFlow JS to handle this face detection function. Why we use TensorFlow JS here is that there is a lot of problem during the online teaching, especially you request your student to share the screen to everyone, to the teacher. You may see that some of the student, someone's there, some of the you don't want to know what happened in their home. Okay, and that's the reason why for the privacy issue, we are trying to don't capture student face or their home use webcam. Okay. But how can we detect the number of face? We're using the machine learning model in TensorFlow JS to do the face detection. Once we find more than one face in the webcam image, it will send a message to Amazon Siberian host, and the Siberian host will give the warning message through Poly to remind students you should work on the test alone. On the other hand, we want to try to resolve the student issue about they copy the assignment from each other. Since it's quite straightforward. If you ask for students to do some work file or something software soft copy assignment, they will copy from each other. And how can we do the simple test? Yeah, we found a solution is that we can call our all students together to ask questions with them, so that they have to answer the question through phone call at the same times. We are make use of Amazon Lex and Amazon Connect to enable a virtual call assistant to send student important message or do a simple test with them. Why important message? Actually, the COVID-19 there is sometimes we have to call a lot of students to inform them something, for example, the canceled class or something happened urgently. And here's the demonstration. We call all of my students at the same times.
Hey, 響罩，喂，跟住接電話，接電話。第一批同學仔響晒啦，係，我又響啦。
Okay, here's a demonstration, and all of my students receive the phone call together, and actually that's a content you can do a simple question and answer, a short quiz through the AI Amazon Lex chatbot, and then Amazon Connect will actively make a phone call. And this is another project called Cost Out, and I have published it in AWS machine learning blog. The blog then is building a scalable outbound call engine using Amazon Connect and Amazon Lex. And this project is actually it's quite straightforward to integration. We just need to upload a spreadsheet file with the core content or JSON file to the bracket, and then the bracket will trigger a lambda function and put a JSON job in a call or in queue, and then another lambda function will start a workflow, start a state machine. The state machine actually will include the task with a Amazon Connect call job, and then Amazon Connect will control by Amazon Lex to make a interactive call to student, and then finally after calling all of the student, the call report will put that into the bucket, and then teacher can download a test result for a simple test result to from student. If someone misses the call, it means that you're doing online teaching. You call them, if they are not able to answer the phone, it means that they are not actually attending the classes as well. And finally, we have a phrase mark detection feature. We are using Amazon Recognition Personal Protective Equipment API to enable the virtual tutor become the health and safe officer to detect someone not wear the mask in our campus. And that is one of the very important feature for not just for online teaching, since at this moment the school may open again and again, but sometimes open and close down, open and close down, repeat and repeat. But one student need to back to our campus, we are enforce all of the students to wear the mask all the time. But the main problem is that this is very difficult to set up a lot of guard or safe healthy and safe officer in all the place of the inside our campus, and it need a lot of manpower. And the solution is that we just convert the virtual tutor into a health and safety officer to detect someone not wear the mask. It will able to detect the mask wear improperly or properly or not, and also we will able to record down someone not wear the mask and then show their information, geolocation information in Google Map. Let's see the demo.
Please wear your mask. Please wear your mask.
Okay, you see the demo. I just take off my mask, and then my geolocation information is shared into the central screen, also with a Google Map to show where is someone don't wear the mask. And actually, it's also integrated warning information to call the health security guard to someone before something happened. And here is the architecture. Is reserved for something very similar architecture. We just built this feature in a very, very short period. Once the API release, will take less than a few hours to convert our virtual tutor become a health and safety officer. And we have the load test for the virtual tutor. Actually, the virtual tutor, we can have more than 100 students in a single classes, and that means that we can have nearly since everything is serverless, we can nearly have many infinite number of clients, so that we can set up a lot of camera just with a very simple mobile phone or a browser and a webcam with those special hardware. Then we can have a healthy and safe to detect face mask. The API is straightforward. We just convert the web image. Instead of this one, we will upload the image or the webcam image to SV, and then the API gateway will call the lambda, and the lambda will call Amazon Recognition to get back the face mask detection result. When someone not wearing the mask, the answer will send back to the Amazon AWS Amplify, and then send back the result to the both app sync and the submarine client. For the submarine client, this is a virtual host, virtual health and safety officer. It will immediately to spit out a warning message to ask the people wear the mask, and then we base on the Amazon Poly to generate the title speech, and then the information will be stored, including the geolocation of the camera, will save that in the DynamoDB, and then through AWS AppSync, it will immediately report the information back to the central panel. The central panel is here. The central panel, actually, the main function, we got a Google Map. Okay, when there is someone not relevant, the database the DynamoDB will update, and then here the AppSync will also update the central panel and show the geolocation and the photo from the SV bucket to the Google Map. And secondly, finally, if the problem is serious, we can click on a single button to make a phone call with calls out to call to the safety officer near the location of the camera or the security guard to do the second action, maybe just warn the student in person to wear the mask. And here's my conclusion. For conclusion, all screens can help make the virtual education easier for both students and teachers, and where this improve our student productivity. Actually, with all screen, students are no longer able to copy assignment or project from each other easily since you monitoring their screen, and also we have the tracking from phone call and different strategy to make sure the student have to work on the assignment in person, and also we record down their progress, not just the final result. And this makes students keep focused in the class, as you know them before they can really do anything. But now you can see their screen, and also sometimes you can make a phone call to them to ask a simple question to make sure they listen to the phone and answer it, and that they are in the class. And also it improves the engagement and emphatic two-way dialogue with the interactive AI track block to have a virtual tutor to study with them all the time, and also can answer their question 24-hour delay. They can answer the question, subject-related question anytime by the virtual tutor related to the subject all the time. And finally, we also make use of the automatic PPE to improve the safe practices in our campus. And now, even though they're not the online class become the face-to-face one, we need to make sure the health and safety regulation. Everyone must wear the mask all the time in our campus, and this reduce our manpower to save for. We need to make use of the AI to help us. And finally, we are glad to report you that we won the Hong Kong ICT Awards, the Best Student Innovation Award Gold Prizes with all screens. Actually, this is from our Hong Kong government, the highest award of Hong Kong. For the resources, all screen is everything on GitHub. Please feel free to clone it and then deploy it. You can use it for free, include everything, and we are keep updating. And also, if you want to know more, you may check out our original blog post, how to build an online teaching platform, okay, from my LinkedIn. For the demo, we have more demo clip in YouTube. You can check out our demo playlist. And finally, about the PPE API, you want to know more on the power of PPE, you should review my blog post. Actually, I just demo a very short demo here, and there's a lot of outdoor demo, crowd of people demo in lecture theater, test, a lot of use cases there. You can know the power of the API. And follow my LinkedIn, connect with me. Yeah, I'm always there. And also, I'm interested with Wong Cyrus. Thank you. And please complete the section survey. And thank you very much.